Hello, friends. Well, what's worse than seeing yourself recorded on video and sounding like a man, reverse Thursdays, is not seeing you all in class. So I miss you. I hope you're doing well. Trust me, no teacher goes into teaching to teach behind a screen and to record themselves versus talking to you all. So know that you are very missed, not just by me, but by many, and that all of your teachers are trying to figure out, like you are, this new digital norm, which totally sucks. So, welcome to beloved digital recap edition from my husband's office in the basement. Yes, this is a ridiculous picture of our dog. Okay, cheers. Let's get started. So, if you want to grab your books, I'm just going to be recapping pages 147 to 195 as I struggle with this computer. My God, what is this life coming to? Okay, it's part comedy show too. So if you want to grab your books, we're just recapping the part that we really didn't discuss so much digitally. And then just a reminder for today, for Friday, you are responding to one discussion question for pages 199 to 235, and that has been posted, okay? Cool, let's get started. So 147 to 195, we finally get like what the heck happened in Setha's past and what she did and what happened to the crawling already girl and all that stuff. And it's pretty shocking and crazy, and there's been some mixed emotions about it between Setha's kind of her motives and trying to understand like why she would think that murdering her children, because I think she would have, if she, given the time, murdered all four of them in the shed, why she believed that that was better than slavery, that death was better than going back to sweet home. So starting from the beginning, kind of on page 155, we know Paul D asked Setha to have a baby, which would definitely cement them together as a family. And the request also brings up Setha's extreme and fierce mothering style, which we obviously see manifested in the shed when school teacher comes back. When thinking about becoming a mother again, she has a lot of fears. And on 155, she says, thinking to herself, but mostly she was frightened by the thought of having a baby once more, needing to be good enough, alert enough, strong enough, that caring again, having to stay alive just that much longer. Oh Lord, she thought, deliver me. Unless carefree mother love was a killer. What did he want her pregnant for? To hold on to her, to have a sign that he passed this way? Then she kind of comes to the conclusion they were family somehow and he was not the head of it. So kind of alluding to the power struggle that we then get in part 2 of the text that you're reading for today, where something's a little off and has shifted in the family dynamic, especially once Paul D leaves, okay? Then we get the story of the crying already girl and the day that she was killed and what happens with school teacher and his nephews coming. They come because technically Setha was his property, and because of the fugitive slave laws of the time, any slave owner could go like cross the northern border or Union border, and like collect what was their property back again. So that's why he had the right to. I know that sounds really messed up to say it, but with the laws at the time. So we get kind of the background with baby Shug. She's like celebrating her family and the townspeople who once kind of like adored her and appreciated her as their preacher, as this like safe haven, as 124, as this place to pass and exchange notes. They really come to resent her because she does have an abundance of things. Like not only does she have money for pies and all the kind of food, she also has a family, which I think is what bothers people the most and makes them jealous of her and see baby Shugs not as someone who is compassionate and sharing, but as somebody who's kind of like rubbing this lineage in their faces very unintentionally. But if you think about all that we've talked about with family and motherhood and parenting, to have some kind of family connection would have been very rare. So the fact that baby Shugs like knows where her son is, I mean, technically we don't know. She doesn't know he's just like going crazy churning butter. But that she has a daughter-in-law and she has grandkids is like unheard of and a huge deal and kind of sets her apart. So they're celebrating that day, and then people are jealous. So they don't warn everyone at 124 that this like strange man in a hat is rolling up in this wagon, like obviously intending to collect his slaves back. So Stamp Paige tells Paul D on page 184, like sharing that newspaper clip with him. And then we see in the section you're reading for today, he kind of struggles, Stamp Paige struggles with that decision. So when Setha, sorry, I'm just reading from my notes here. When Setha sees school teacher and his nephews coming, her maternal instincts take over. She swoops up all of her children and brings them into the shed, intending to kill all of them. So they aren't taken back to sweet home, but it's only the crawling already girl who is first killed, who is beloved, who is the spirit. Yeah, and it, I mean, wow. And hopefully you read the article because it's actually based on a real person, Margaret somebody. I think she does it in the name of freedom. Like, besides this fierce motherly love, like, also freedom. Because 124 and the freedom that she experienced for the first 28 days post Sweet Home, it was her chance to actually, like, to be a mother and to love her children as people who are free, like, get to love their children without this fear of them being taken away. So on 190 and 191, she has some really great quotes when she's justifying herself to Paul D and, like, kind of saying, like, screw you. You don't need to understand my actions as a mother. You don't get it. Because she's proud of herself. She said, I did it. I got us all out too without Hal. We was here, each and every one of my babies and me. I birthed them all and I got them out and it wasn't no accident. I did that. Looked like I loved them more after I got here, or maybe I couldn't love them proper in Kentucky because they wasn't mine to love. But when I got here, when I jumped down off that wagon, there wasn't nobody in the world I couldn't love if I wanted to. Yeah, so it's just this, like, freedom to love and mother, which we see, with Baby Shugs, and obviously this whole kind of struggle with Setha. So she sees it as the ultimate act of love and sacrifice. Now, 194, she tries to explain it to Paul D by saying, I love this quote, love is or it ain't, thin love ain't love at all. So, and Paul D says, yeah, it didn't work, did it? Did it work? She said, it worked. How? Your boys are gone, you don't know where. One girl dead, the other won't leave the yard. How did it work? They ain't at Sweet Home. School teacher ain't got 'em. Maybe there's worse, says Paul D. It ain't my job to know what's worse. It's my job to know what is and to keep them away from what I know is terrible. I did that. What you did was wrong, Setha. I should have gone back there, taken my babies back there. There could have been a way, some other way. What way, she asked. And then Paul D says, you got 2 feet, Setha, not 4. So that's like animalistic imagery that we know school teacher alludes to a lot, and then that will come up again. So that's the tension at the end of this section between Setha and Paul D, is that Paul D just cannot understand and fathom this, like, deep and kind of fierce and scary love that Setha has for her children that caused her, this, like, love that caused her to kill one of her children. Yeah, complicated. Excuse me. Also, the connection between Denver and Beloved is briefly explained, like, really quickly. So aside from being sisters, and then I know we talked about it in some classes, when the Crawling Already girl, who is Beloved, who is this, like, spirit that comes back and who has lived at 124 for 18 years now, a little less, the spirit, Beloved, Crawling Already girl, had this connection with Denver. And it turns out it's because when Setha slams the Crawling Already girl against the side of the shed and she's bleeding and Setha has blood on her, Baby Schultz comes into the shed and is like, here, give me that child. Here's Denver. She needs to nurse. So as baby Denver, right, who was born on the way to Bluestone to 124, as Denver, Setha brings Denver to her chest to nurse her, and Setha has the Crawling Already girl's blood on her. So essentially, Denver is drinking both milk and her dead sister's blood. I know, it's kind of creepy crazy, but it just cements this, like, blood relationship and, like, the depth of their love together. All right, that's some heavy stuff. That was a lot, and I'm so sorry that we couldn't, like, process it together in class and just ask questions, but I appreciate the questions that have come my way. With this next chunk, so 199 to 235, you get a lot more information about Stamp Paige and kind of how he feels about his role in this. Paul D and Setha's relationship evolves as it does with Denver, and then Beloved as the spirit. Beloved's kind of coming back over to to take over as like this head of the household, like she as a spirit was at the start of the text. You also get a little more of what happened to Sixo at Sweet Home, and he was one of the men, right? So it's Paul A, Paul F, Paul D, Sixo, and Hal. And a little more background into when school teacher took over at Sweet Home after Mr. Garner died, and why Hal's family planned an escape. Okay. Whew. Amazing. Y'all are so awesome. I so miss you. Like, I could cry right now. This sucks. Like, look at where I'm teaching. This sucks. It's just me and the dog who's down here. But anyways, a few upcoming plans and notices. I'm getting your calendar organized for this week. Please know that Judge will be open from 9 to 11 on Monday. So 9 to 11 a.m. on Monday. Practice social distancing. But if you need something out of your locker, that would be the time to go. I do know this past week was a load of heavy reading. Thank you for sticking with it and assignments and just finding this new norm. I think we'll really be on track to finish this before like spring break, and that way we will have 2 weeks set to review before the exam. I don't know if they're changing it, like y'all know as much as I do, but I will of course keep you posted. So I just want to keep our momentum going so that you have study and practice time before the exam. I did organize a Zoom check-in for Monday if you just wanted to show your face and say hello to me. But I think I might reschedule that and move it to Tuesday because, of course, the times we meet are the times that Judge is open. So just check the course calendar on that, kind of TBD. Monday will just be like a journaling assignment just to like process and get back into it. Okay, I know that was like 12 minutes of me talking to you, and I apologize. I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page. I wanted to show you my face. I hope that I get to see your faces next week, and I sincerely hope you all are well. This week has been just bizarre, so thanks for sticking with it. Know that you're missed in all of your hard work. I sincerely appreciate. If I can do anything else to help you, like if your family needs support, if you need something, question about an assignment, please. I check my email like constantly now, so please reach out, okay? Know that you are so missed. Bye, friends.